Hello and welcome to the course on C programming language. This is the second lecture of Unit 2, and in this lecture we are going to continue our discussion on computer system. And in this lecture we are going to discuss about computer memory. So let us start. Mainly the computer memory is of two types. One is called your primary memory and the secondary memory. As this course is basically focused on learning C programming language, so I will not elaborate many things about computer memory because it is not a architecture course. So we have to understand what is the basic building block of a computer memory, so that while we are writing a program, we should understand how the program gets executed, where the program's stored, where it came, and how it is executed. So those things we need to understand properly. Okay. So if you see this particular figure, the CPU is actually communicated, means it will be directly connected to the primary memory. And generally the primary memory is called your random access memory or RAM. And RAM is again connected to the secondary memory, which in our case is the hard disk drive. Okay. While you are a programmer, so if you are a programmer and you are going to write a program, then you need to store that program somewhere in your computer. And later on, when in the next day, if you want to see that program, it must be there in the computer system. So to permanently store your program, you have to use the secondary memory. So from user perspective or the programmer perspective, the programmer need to write the program, and he must be able to store his program permanently in the computer memory, right? So here you can see this secondary memory is actually used by your user to store his program. And if the user want to execute the program and try to find out some output from that program execution, then those programs need to be loaded into the primary memory. So let me tell you with drawing some figure. Let's say I am a programmer, and I write a program. Let's say P is the program name, and my program consists of some instructions. Let's say there are 4 instructions: I1, I2, I3 and I4. So after writing this program, I need to store this program to the hard disk or the secondary memory. So it will be stored permanently inside the secondary memory. If I want to execute this program, then this program must be loaded to the primary memory. Generally, the primary memory is divided into multiple blocks. For the time being, assuming that each block will be able to store one instruction. But that is not the actual rule. The rule will differ from architecture to architecture. Computer architecture have different rules. Some instruction may take 2 blocks. Some instruction may take 4 blocks. That depend upon the architectures. So no need to understand that for the timing. Just assume that each instruction takes 1 block. So these blocks are numbered from 0 to n-1. So let's say I1 I will store from I1, I2, I3 and I4 like this. So the program instructions are loaded into the primary memory. Now each instruction has been fetched by your CPU, and CPU starts executing each instruction. After the output has been produced by your CPU, the output is need to be stored in the memory again. Then those output need to be transferred to your display device for displaying the output to the user. Okay, this is how the communication actually taken place. So from programmer's point of view, this is enough about computer memory. But for the sake of completeness, let us discuss how the computer memory, means what are the different categories of computer memory present. Still I have used a minimum category kind of thing, so that you can easily understand the content properly. So here you can see a computer memory is actually divided into 2 types. One is called primary memory and second one is called secondary memory. A primary memory can be of two types, RAM and ROM. So why this category is needed again? RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read-only memory. That means you can read the content from this memory, but you cannot write anything to this. But RAM is a read-write memory. You can write or read anything from this memory. Okay. So this memory is actually developed by your computer system developer. Means whoever sells his computer, he has to install a ROM in the computer. And what the ROM content? The ROM contains the bootable informations. Means you purchase a computer from uh, the market and you start the computer. Then something must be there so that the computer will start. So those programs are called the bootstrap loader program, and those bootstrap loader program is actually stored inside this ROM. So when you switch on the computer, then first the bootstrap loader program is actually executed and your computer starts or boots. Okay. But RAM is actually used for your program executions. Means after the computer has started, what you are going to do is whatever program you will write, the program will load it into the RAM and the execution will start. Let us see, let us try to remember these points about RAM, and while I am reading these points, you will able to understand what is the actual need of RAM and ROM. So for RAM, it is the read-write memory of the computer system. As I have already told you, we can read it, we can write it. But if you think about the ROM, the information can only can be read only. Okay. In case of a RAM, it is a volatile memory. The content of the RAM gets erased when we switch off the computer system. As I have already told you, in this particular figure, if you see, remember, the programs are loaded into the RAM and gets executed. When the program execution completes, the memory get erased. And obviously, when you switch off the computer, also the primary memory content will automatically get erased. But the program which has already been stored in the secondary memory, it is not erased. It will be stay permanently inside the secondary memory. Anytime you want to execute, you have to transfer it into the main memory. So this main memory, or we call the RAM, main memory, primary memory, everything is same. So RAM is actually a volatile memory, and when you switch off, means the computer, the content of that memory gets deleted. But if you think about ROM, it is a non-volatile memory. The data which are present inside the ROM is permanent. So it is actually developed by your system developer. So he has written a program that is called bootstrap loader program that will be stored inside the ROM, and that program need not be erased permanent. It should not be erased. That's why the ROM contains the information and it is non-volatile. Sometimes these memories are called the permanent memories, or this is called the dead stores. Okay. So if you think about the RAM, in RAM it is possible to select any memory location randomly to store and retrieve information. But while you consider about ROM, it is generally used to store bootable information which is required to boot the system properly, as I have already discussed these things. Generally, the computer manufacturer provides a ROM chip. So whoever develops the computer, he will provide you a ROM chip. A ROM chip contains the program to start the computer. Okay, that's all. And the other one, that is your secondary memory. There are several secondary memory are also available, like your pen drive is also a secondary memory, your CD is also a secondary memory, your floppy disk is a secondary memory. So those things we are not going to discuss here, because this particular course is mainly focusing on your what it is focusing on your programming language. So I will only explain these two, that is hard disk and SSD. Nowadays, whenever you are trying to buy a computer, the computer either came with your hard disk installed into it, or a SSD installed into it. So generally SSD are more faster than hard disk, because hard disk contains movable mechanical devices. Like here you can see, these are called the platters. Platters are magnetized materials, or the plates which are coated with some phosphorus materials, and the data are actually recorded in these plates. So there are several plates present in this, and this is actually called the head. That head is go inside, this will be moved like this. It will enter into this platters and try to read the content, and this spindle is used to move the platters. The platter will revolve like this, and the header will go inside the platter and collect the data. Okay, but so when the mechanical devices will be there, so it takes more time to retrieve the data, or the required data has to, whenever you want a program to be loaded into the main memory, the proper location has to be set so that head can read that data. But while considering your SSD is actually built through NAND flash memories, so data will be stored over here, and it can directly, you can directly jump to that location and try to fetch that instruction. Okay, there will be a controller who will control the data which are stored in different NAND flash memories over SSD. So nowadays, whenever you are trying to buy a computer, go by default, go to buy the computer which has solid state drive installed in it. That will be for better performance. So that's all for the today's class. Thank you.